All right, this is going to be for lock. Sort of want to, I guess, go over. You can tell, depending on what you guys wash and dry in the dryer, is going to vary significantly over what's going to be in there. Vacuum seals make a nice little thing. I don't know if you can tell that there's a bunch of hair in there. That little white tip is actually a cotton ball that got vacuum sealed in there, so you can tell you can get a lot of cotton balls in a small amount of space if you guys use vacuum sealers. Let's switch this over to close here. You can see I've got some like wool in there, pet hair, all sorts of good stuff. So every time you do it, it'll be a little bit different. Now, what we're going to do here is we're going to just take regular Vaseline, just like you did in the other one, but if you use an extender on any of these, they're going to work quite a bit better. I'm just going to work that in. I don't have a whole lot on there. I just have just a little bit. We're going to take a cotton ball. First we have a fire extinguisher close by. In case all hell breaks loose. And I'm not putting much on this at all. So they're still going to be able to light. There is more cotton in there. I just picked kind of a little baby size. So this one will probably burn anyway because there's less fuel. I will reconstruct the whole thing using a strike force. And I know everyone tells people, you know, make sure to hold the steel where it is and pull back, you know, when you're trying to do it like that. Honestly, with this carbon and this thing, I don't ever do that with a strike force. But what I will do is I'll put my thumb and really get just a gnarly push on there. And as you can see, you're nice, slow, controlled, and you're just getting that extra force on it. You're not striking it, but I'll tell you what, I'll get a nice, hot, bigger piece popping off that thing than I will doing any other fancy thing. And you can tell with that thumb control, you're not throwing sparks anywhere. It's not, you know, uncontrolled. So with this thing, because of the materials, because the striker and the carbon and everything's made to work together, I would just recommend just using your thumb and just get nice, powerful flakes right off there. You'll get bigger chunks and a hotter flame off there. So that's my little tip. I'm going to set up the other ones, and we're going to go over the wet fire and whatnot as well. Alright, so if you're doing trioxane and wet fire, one thing you'll notice in your video, that when you open the package, there was a whole bunch of little crumblies already around, and that's pretty much what lit. When you get these things, they're going to be fairly old. They're going to be breaking down, crystallizing, and so when you open them up, they're just going to crumble just to death. Where wet fires are produced new. You guys were talking about what do you think these things are made out of. My guess is 1 part styrofoam, 1 part marshmallow, and 1 part jet fuel. But that's just my guess. One of the things we're going to do is we're going to just break up a corner of those. Okay. Oops. Just to make sure they light. I'm going to leave that one over there for now. Make sure that's still there. There you go. So that's going. Clearly you can't see it on the camera. Maybe you can. So that's burning. What we're going to do is we're going to see if it passes the wet fire test. We're going to take the burning chunk. Oh, it sinks. See, that doesn't work at all. So let's take it out. And I just set it next to the other one. Let's see if it lights up. Alright, we're going to let that dry off for a second. We're going to go to the wet fire. So, the wet fires, sorry if this is not in view here. Wet fire, we're going to do the same thing. We broke off a little chunk. One spark, it's burning. Now, one thing I'm going to do safely is I'm going to show you, once you light this guy and you blow it out, it's cool to the touch already. Okay, which means you can spread the fire around your fire, use it as a candle, if you will. I'm going to relight it off the chunks down there. What I'm going to do, I'm going to bring this in a little closer here, and I'm going to drop it in the water, and it floats. That's their gimmick. That weird styrofoam marshmallow jet fuel floats. Now, obviously, let's throw it all the way in. Let's dunk it down, to be fair. We'll pull it back out. We're going to crush these things up and see how they compare. Sorry, I don't really have a tripod today. It's being weird. Alright. So, we're going to take the wet trioxane, obliterate it. We get the leftover trioxane off the tip here. And take the wetfire, and obliterate it, and they both will light. Okay, you can't see that, obviously. Not sure if I need a special camera for that, but we'll come over here. There we go. So, Lock 626. I hope that helps in your seek for tinders. This is how I've done it. Obviously, everyone has their own style, but trioxane is a great fuel. I believe it would work better than the wet fires in heating food. I believe the actual calories output of heat is probably a little bit higher. It does burn better. It's hard to blow out. Is another good thing of the trioxane. As far as like windproof and stuff like that, that's kind of what it's designed for, is to get your food boiling. But it does have a little bit more trouble when it's wet out. It doesn't float, if that's part of your marketing you're looking for. But the wet fire, you will have to crush it up a little bit, but it's reusable. It floats, it can get wet, you can dry it off, or you can light it again. It doesn't really soak up water like a sponge, even though you think it would. Part of its styrofoam marshmallow jet fuel combo. But hope that helps. Thanks, bud.